Students, in lesson 9.6, problem solving, we are going to be finding a rule, and our essential question for this lesson is, how can you use this strategy solve a simpler problem to help you solve a problem with a pattern? So we're going to start with the unlock the problem, real world. An archaeological dig. Gabriel separates his dig site into sections with areas of 15 square feet. There are 3 archaeological members digging in every section. What is the area of the dig site if 21 members are digging at one time? So we read the problem and we're going to answer our questions. What do I need to find? I need to find the area of Gabriel's archaeological dig site. Next, what information do I need to use? I can use the area of each section, which is 15 square feet, that there are 3 members in each section, and that there are 21 members digging. How will I use the information? I will use the information to search for patterns to solve a simpler problem. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually go ahead and solve the problem. So what we can see is that the rule here, in each of the sections, they added 3 members per each section. And we see that if we analyze the relationship, we're adding 15 area in square feet per section. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our relationship. What is the relationship? We're multiplying by 3. So we have 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15, 6 times 3 is 18, 7 times 3 is 21. Next, we are going to now multiply that number by 5. So we have 3 times 5 is 15, 6 times 5 is 30, 9 times 5 is 45, 12 times 5 is 60, 15 times 5 is 75, 18 times 5 is 90, 21 times 5 is 105. So it says multiply the number of sections by 3 to find the number of members. Multiply the number of members by 5 to find the total area to complete the table. So that's what we did on the side. So the area of the dig site, if 21 members are digging, is 105 square feet. Next, we're going to try another problem. We're looking here at this diagram on the side as a visual that's going to help us throughout this problem. Casey is making a design with triangles and beads for a costume. In his design, each pattern unit adds 3 triangles and 18 beads. If Casey uses 72 triangles in his design, how many times does he repeat the pattern unit? How many beads does Casey use? Use the graphic organizer below to solve the problem. So what we would say is that I need to find the number of times the pattern unit is repeated and the number oh goodness, it's not going to let me do this. And the number of beads used. Next, what information do I need to use? I can use the number of beads and triangles uses in one pattern to find how many are used for 72 triangles. And lastly, how will I use the information? I will use the information to search for patterns, to solve a simpler problem. So now let's solve the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a graphic organizer first. So my graphic organizer is going to contain the number first of pattern units. So number of pattern units. And we know we're going to do that for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 24. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to now make our next row the number of triangles. And the last is going to be the number of beads. So in the first one, I know that there are going to be 3 triangles, and then there are going to be 18 beads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 to the number of patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So there would be 6 triangles. 6 plus 3 is 9. So there would be 9 triangles in the next pattern. 9 plus 3 is 12. And then 12, we're going to leave that there. So we're going to go on to the next bottom. So we see is that each time we're going to be adding 18 for the number of beads. So 18 plus 18 is 36. 36 plus 18 is 54. And 54 plus 18 would be 72. So we're stopping at the 4th pattern because we know that there's a big jump between the 4th and the 24th pattern. So we know that what we can do is we can analyze our relationships between our x and y coordinates. So we think to ourselves, the rule is going to have to be the same time each side. So if we think about it, for our 24th pattern, we're going to take 24 and we're going to multiply it by 3 because we know that will be the amount of triangles that we'll have. So we will have 72 triangles. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the 72 triangles and we're going to multiply it by 6, which would give us 432 beads. So Casey repeats the pattern union 24 times and uses 432 beads. It says, what rule could you use to find the unknown number of beads if you could know the related number of triangles? So we know that the rule here would be to multiply the number of triangles by 6 to find the number of beads. So what we did in this is we broke down our problem and we solved a simple problem for most of our patterns where we do the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and 4th pattern to find our eventual greater pattern, which was sometimes a little bit more complicated and a lot larger. Make sure that you're taking the time to do the graphic organizers and making sure that you relate your x coordinates to your y to find your relationship, which in these cases, most of them have been multiplication, but sometimes they might ask for a division relationship as well.